combat together, and we've been good friends for a long time. Most of you will recognize his name as Norm Schwarzkopf. I was having dinner with Norm Schwarzkopf one evening, and back a few months ago, and he said, "Jim, what are you doing? You're going out talking about leadership and so forth." He says, "What is your niche? What is your niche?" Leadership, the reason he asked that question is that leadership, there are something over 18,000 books in print about leadership. You can't read them all. You certainly can't follow them all. So someplace along the line, during your life, you've got to come up with an idea about what kind of leader do I want to be? Why is leadership important to me? And what kind of leader am I going to be? This is where I came up with my philosophy, that leadership is a blend of competence and character. Now, I didn't do this when I was 21 years old and so forth. This is something that has evolved over time, that I've come up with this as being my philosophy of leadership. Now, you look at this, and leadership is a blend of competence and character. Competence is, you got to know what you're doing. You got to know what you're about. That's fairly simple. But competence is measurable. In school, you people right here at these two tables, your competence is being measured because you get assigned to grades A, B, C's, D's, and F's. So competence is measurable. How about character? Do we have any measures of character? If they're out there, I don't know anything about them. Because character is something that is different, and I'm going to spend the rest of the time, I'm not going to be talking about the competence issue. I'm going to be talking about the character issue. Today we know better than to believe that character doesn't count or is not important. Experience tells us that negative expressions of character, such as dishonesty or greed, have real costs. We've seen it in our business communities. We've seen it in our government. We see it all around us. This is what I'm talking about this crisis in leadership. But what does that word character really mean? I look at character, and even from the time back at West Point, when I first looked at that purpose statement, I said, that word character, what does it mean? What I realized was that word is what I call a buzzword. A buzzword is a word that we all use all the time, and we never stop to think about, what does it mean? What is really the underlying meaning of that word character? That word's been around for a long time. This is what Aristotle said about character, and far be it for me to argue with Aristotle. But
were you guys classmates?
But when I look at this, it's kind of like what I call mush. There's not really, it doesn't really grab hold of it. You can read this, and this may be one of the reasons why character is such a buzzword, because you can read this and say, gee, but what does that really mean? So anyway, as a result of this, when I came up with this, we said we've got to find something that is going to be meaningful to people about what that word character really means. And so we came up with this definition. And the reason I like this definition, it's longer than Aristotle's. That's not the reason I like it. But there are two important words in there. And that's understanding. That means having understanding of what is right and good and proper. And then the second one is courage, to have the courage to do what you know is right and good and proper. Now the understanding, that's not something that is difficult. That's not something that is really difficult. We started learning the meaning of that and having an understanding of what is right and good and proper from the time we were about that tall, and we learned the meaning of that first two-letter word. That first two-letter word?
No.
No. That's when our parents started teaching us what is right and good and proper. And then it went on, our parents continued working with us, and in our churches and in our schools and so forth. So today, I am chronologically superior in anybody in this room, with the education that you have, does not understand what is right and good and proper 99.95% of the time. Now you notice I'm getting loud when I talk about this. This subject of leadership is something that I'm passionate about. And I tend to, when my passion starts rising, my voice starts getting louder, and I start talking louder. So it's not because I'm angry about anything, but it's because I'm passionate about this subject of leadership and what it's all about. The understanding is not the difficult part of being a person of character. It's that second word. That second word. That's courage.